New meeting play.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are the group 5. We are now discussing the topic of employee empowerment.
So, what is employee empowerment? So, let's define what is employee empowerment. So, it says here that employee empowerment is a management approach wherein decision making is shared with subordinates. It means encourage the employees to an organization to engage on a daily basis task and feel them that they are belong to the company. Because some organizations just let their employees stick to their usual role or task, and it really affects to the individual behavior to their employees where they don't have the courage to take or do some responsibilities because they are not familiar to that certain task. Second is employee empowerment is it is an organizational state where employees are given the responsibility to make improvements and the authority to make changes in the organization. So not just the employees who has in a higher position in the company can make all the responsibility, but also employees in different sectors can also have the authority to make changes, suggest what they want to suggest in order to for the improvement of the company and power to decide. Because if all employees in the company are empowered, it can increase their productivity. It also improves their work satisfaction and loyalty to the company and lead to provide a good service to the customers. So it's very important that the organization or a company must know what is the importance of employee empowerment and how to apply it to the organization. So, for example, is based from our prelim task performance behind Nissan success. So, it says here that um, the reason of company success of Nissan is about their employee empowerment. They provide and mold their employees to become empowered, where they provide training employees to develop their skills, encouraging them to make decisions, have a flexible working practices, and providing the employee a variety within his or her role. So that's it for employee empowerment.
Next, we have rationale for empowerment. First, improved work outcomes. We all know that outcomes are the results. These are the most valuable and important part of our job as employees. But how can we have better or improved work outcome? To have better communication, because this is one of the few ways a business can improve its employees' performances. Well, proper communication boosts efficiency, effectiveness, productivity, and eventually overall work outcomes. Second, we have increased employee satisfaction. Employee satisfaction is defined as the extent to which an employee feels self motivated, content, and satisfied with his or her job. This happens when an employee feels he or she is having job stability, career growth, and comfortable work life balance. Next, we have cost benefits to be discussed by Andrea.
So for the cost benefit, so according here, cost benefit is improve employee retention resulting to lesser costs incurred by the organization in terms of recruiting, hiring, and training of new employees. So in short, it's build trust that leads to lower company costs when it's come to recruiting, hiring, and training new employees in the company. So for the next one is career development. So it provides opportunity for the employees to develop their skills and take on greater challenges and roles in the organization. So it means that it can provide ano wala? It can provide incentive for staff to advance their skills and take on even more challenging and important jobs and responsibility in their organization.
Okay, for the inhibitors of empowerment, first, in inhibitors of empowerment, resistance from employees and unions. Um, in this, employees always resist change, and even positive change can be uncomfortable for employees because it involves a new unfamiliar territory. From the word resistance, it means pagtutol. So, employee, uh, employees, they didn't accept changes, especially the setup in their workplace, because we all know that it is a new adjustment for everybody. And second, resistance from management. Managers may feel insecure because they perceive that full implementation of employee empowerment will diminish their power as the boss. So in this, the managers, in short, they didn't give a freedom, or should I say voice, towards em- towards their employees, because they think that if they give a right for the employees, their ego will yung matatapakan. And that's all. Next.
So here are the manager's rules in empowerment. First is the commitment. Commitment, a manager consistently supports empowerment programs and reinforces them in tangible ways. So if the manager is committed to his or her responsibility in work, it would also affect the employee. As a manager, you should inspire and motivate your employee, and also you should trust, develop, and support your employee to make your goals and the purpose lead into success. Next is the facilitation. A manager constantly monitors employees to ensure that they are being empowered and act quickly on employee recommendations. So, as a manager, you should facilitate your employee. You should listen each other's opinion to minimize conflict among employees. Facilitation is also important because as a manager, you would enable to help the employee to work together effectively and productively. Mr. Michael.
Okay, next
Next.
is leadership. A manager promotes empowerment by being a consistent role model, mentor, and trainer. For example, Apple Company has established 400 Apple distinguished schools in 29 countries all over the world to promote leadership and educational excellence that demonstrate Apple vision for learning with technology. This shows how Apple consistently applies lead- leadership through empowering the next generation of leaders. Next.
Implementing empowerment. Under implementing empowerment, we have brainstorming. Brainstorming is collecting ideas from the employees with no right or wrong suggestion. For as long as you can share your ideas to the organization, then it will be gathered to select the best and effective ideas helpful for the organization. As the brainstorming here, the process requires managers to serve as facilitator in drawing out recommendations from group members. Participants are encouraged to share ideas that would contribute in the process improvement of the organization. Next will be the nominal group technique. Nominal group technique, just like brainstorming where we gathered ideas, nominal group technique is the more formal way of brainstorming. It is follow 5 steps before coming up to a conclusion that is best for the organization. First, the manager states the problem. Second, each group member silently record his or her ideas. Third, the ideas of individual members are made public by asking each members to share one ideas with the group. Fourth, recorded ideas are clarified to ensure that the group members understand what is meant by each other. Fifth, employees silently vote their 5 favorite ideas by recording them separately in a 3 by 5 card. Next will be discussed by Trisha.
For the quality circle, it is a group of employees who meet regularly to discuss and propose solutions to problems as of quality or productivity in the workplace and for improvement of the organization. This is to improve communication, management awareness of employee job-related concerns, personal growth and development, enhance decision-making skills, and lastly, increase individual power. For the suggestion boxes, it means encourages employees to submit suggestions, comments, and complaints anonymously, although they can include their names if they want. It allows customers to leave a feedback is beneficial to businesses for improvement of its product and services. It is also a chance for employees for any suggestion for the benefit. And lastly, the walking and talking. It means walking the talk raises important questions about how effective the corporate social responsibility and the commitment of the organization or workplace to maintain and continuously improve on them. That's all. Thank you.
Hi everyone. So right now I'll be discussing with you about how to recognize empowered employees. Managers may recognize empowered employees through the following comparisons. Number 1, waiting to be told versus taking the initiatives. When you show initiative, you do things without being told. You learn what you need to know. You persevere when things get difficult, and you recognize and take advantage of opportunities that others overlook. At work, you take action rather than react. So, how to recognize an employee with initiative? You can identify an employee with initiative in a workplace. For example, an employee tends to offer a help or ask for an extra task to his or her boss or the manager, or preparing in advance for job interviews. Number 2, seeing only problems versus seeing opportunities. An empowered employee sees opportunities in every circumstances, while an empowered employee focuses on problems and impossibilities alone. For example, in a workplace, the boss scolded you for not being able to reach the said quota, and with this, your chance of getting promoted is now impossible. But instead of getting pissed off and losing the chance because you are already thinking of quitting the job, you, as an empowered employee, tends to take this opportunity to strive harder and do better in your job in order for you to be trusted and become the ideal employee that most of us wants to. So I'll be giving you some things to remember about an empowered employee. An empowered employee accept that problems are inevitable. Distance yourself from the problem. Learn to objectively evaluate the threats and consequences. Lastly, ignore reactions and focus on improvements. Number 3, accepting input at face value versus thinking critically. An example for thinking critically in a workplace is that during a conflict occurs between your co-worker's input, as an empowered employee, you must logically analyze the situation and the said inputs. Then, while sharing your thoughts on the situation, offer constructive criticism rather than to believe that it cannot be changed and must just be accepted, or what we call disquotation accept it is what it is. So this famous quotation is not applicable for an empowered employee. Number 4. Pass decisions up the line versus building consensus for solutions. This one is quite similar to what I've discussed a while ago. An empowered employee settle conflicts that involve multiple parties and usually multiple issues. He or she initiates to create a way or an agreement with all members of the group in order to solve the problem rather than to pass it to the boss or anyone in the workplace. Using consensus gives us a taste of how things could be done differently. Its goal is to create cooperation and consideration for the needs of others. The reward that this system promises are mostly about getting a promotion and create a harmonious bond in a workplace and a solution to aid the problem. So that's all for recognizing empowered employees.
Good day, everyone. This is Joraima, and I'm now discussing the topic of empowerment errors to avoid. So, first one is unclear meaning of empowerment. So, manager must establish a certain level of boundary or limitation to employee in applying the concept of empowerment. Meaning, although the manager need to be close to his employee, he or she must put in his or her mind that he has an high position for them, for the employee to respect him or her. And the second one is lack of training of employees. So manager must provide training for all the employees in the aspect of critical thinking and good decision making. So before the manager put his employee to work, he must or she must train his employee to have for them to have more knowledge, skills, and also the critical thinking and the good decision making. And the last one is lack of patience in the implementation of empowerment. So in this, manager must extend patience in the implementation of empowerment since employee need time to develop their skills, attitude, and perspective in a empowered way. So we cannot deny the fact that some employees, especially in their first working or first experience, they are not trained well. So the manager must give long patience because some employees getting their skills, getting their knowledge on the experiences that they are experiencing in the future. So that's all. Thank you.